If you want to start a bullet journal, this video is for you. I make a lot of honestly complicated videos on my channel about bullet journaling, but today I just want to strip it back to the basics and talk about how to start a bullet journal for beginners. Chapter 1, what is a bullet journal? In my opinion, a bullet journal is a customized planner that combines productivity, organization, and planning with creativity, art, and aesthetics. Now, Ryder Carroll, the guy who originally invented this system many years ago, basically says that bullet journaling is just a much more simple version than that. It's planning your life with simple bullet point to-do lists in a journal or notebook, which is basically the concept behind it. But over the past few years, there's been a much more emphasis on the art and creativity aspect kind of being integrated into the spreads. And so I think now we can say that there's kind of like a spectrum in between productivity, organization, and art and creativity, and you can choose where along that line you want to fall. Personally, I fall pretty right smack dab in the middle. No matter where, like I said, you land, I feel like the bullet journaling system is super flexible and can be adapted to anyone's productivity system. And so what you take from this video has to not just be copy and paste of what I or any other person does, but instead just think about, what do you need a bullet journal to look like for you? What do you want to get out of using this system? And then focus how you make your journal based on those wants and needs. So although in this video I'm mostly going to talk from my point of view, because that's all I can really talk about is the past 4 years that I've been bullet journaling, definitely pick and choose what you need for your system and just make the bullet journal work for you and not the other way around. Okay, chapter 2, let's talk about any supplies that you'll need. So technically, when you start a bullet journal, only thing you need is a notebook and a pen, nothing else. It's super simple. The stereotype, I guess, most popular bullet journal is just an A5 journal. I have mine right here. Usually is white paper with a dot grid. That way you can use it to, make lines and boxes. And then personally, as far as like black pen goes, I really just like using a Pilot G2 for writing out my to-do lists. Like, it's nothing fancy. I bet you can get a journal from Walmart, a pen from your junk drawer, and you can start bullet journaling. This was my first bullet journal that I ever had, and as you can see, it's really a spiral. It cost me like $8, and it lasted me for a year. So you don't have to go all out. It can be toned down and very simple. However, if you're like me and you like to use a lot of fun stationery, let's go rapid fire with some of my favorite pens, markers, whatever, that I recommend for anybody in the bullet journaling world. Talking first about pens. So fine liners are super important. My favorite are the youu fine liners or the Sacropigma microns. Those both have a wide range of sizes. Talking about calligraphy markers, if you like doing calligraphy like me, I recommend either the Tombow Fudenosque, both the hard and soft tip. I use them all the time. Another good option is the Pentel Fuda Touch pen, something like that. As far as white pens go, I also use a Uniball Signo white gel pen. I love this thing, but I've also heard people rave about the white Jelly Roll pen from Jelly Roll. So I haven't used it, but that's another option that you can try as well. Talking about markers, it's important to distinguish between water-based markers, which the ink is made with water, or alcohol-based markers, which the ink is made with alcohol. Water-based markers wise, I love a good Tombow Dill brush pen. The Crayola Super Tips are pretty cheap, so you can buy a lot of them on Amazon for, not too much money. And then the last one I would recommend are the youu color markers, which I brought to university with me. As far as alcohol markers go, I would either recommend the Sanjoki art markers. Also recommend ohuhu alcohol markers that I left at home, but those are also fantastic. And then as far as ephemera goes, ephemera in my head is like stickers, memo pads, deco paper, scrapbooking supplies, doilies, stamps, washi tape, more of the scrapbooking side than like the drawing, painting, art side of it. So here are a list of companies that I have purchased from or have been gifted stationery from in the ephemera category. All the stationery that I just mentioned will be in the description box below if you want to go check out those links. Disclaimer that a few of them might be affiliate links, which means I get a small commission from them with no extra expense to you. So no pressure to use them, of course, but if you want to buy some stationery, then definitely go check out those links below. Okay, chapter 3, let's talk about the basic bullet journaling structure breakdown. So this may get a little wordy, bear with me for a second, okay? The basic concept of Ryder Carroll bullet journaling, like without all the artsy stuff, just the productivity breakdown, is taking big concepts and breaking them down into bite-sized pieces over time. That way you can successfully achieve your goals and your plans for a certain amount of time, like a year. So imagine there's like this breakdown situation. At the top is your yearly planning, and then you go down a step to your monthly planning, and then you go down another step to your weekly planning. You've probably seen this, you know, Google Calendar, physical planners. Like, this is not a crazy concept, but in the bullet journaling system, since you are technically creating your own journal and customizing everything, you are drawing these layouts yourself. So when you open up a bullet journal for the first time in the yearly category, most people have a year at a glance, maybe a future log page, which is basically where you can put any of your events for, you know, later down in the year in that section, or maybe like yearly goal planning. Moving down the step to more monthly planning, this could include like a calendar for every month. You can also do monthly goal planning, maybe a monthly to-do list, something like that. And then going down even further, during that month, most people can make weekly spreads, which is essentially just one page layout. And in each day of the week, you can write down the individual, like very specific tasks, events, to do things that you have for that one day. And that is how you plan out the very, very small individual from the very big. I think it's important to note, some people also include daily spreads. Some people even do quarterly planning. So, you know, adjust the system how you need, but this is the basic layout and the basic breakdown. So once we've talked about that, I want to talk about the migration. With the bullet journaling system, obviously you're making the spreads yourself, and most people make their section of spreads right before it happens. So most people set up their monthly setups like the week before the month starts, or most people do the weekly spread like the day before that week begins. That way everything is obviously ready for them to plan during that week, right? It makes sense. However, let's say it's January, right? So you start a new bullet journal for the new year. However, you only have your bullet journal set up monthly wise for January. You don't have like March, April, the rest of the year planned out yet. So that's why you use the future log. So if you have a big event coming up, you can just put it in the future log. For example, like for me, in April of this year, I had prom. So I put it in my future log and just left it there until April came around, where I made my April monthly setup. Then when that's done, I had my April calendar and my monthly setup. So I just went to my future log, took note of all the dates that I listed there. And so I put in prom on the 15th in my calendar. But the 15th is in the middle of the month. So technically, if it was April 1st, I wouldn't have my weekly spread planned for April 15th until the week of, right? So when that week does come around and I make the weekly spread, then I can move the prom date from the calendar and the monthly setup to the weekly spread box, April 15th, write down prom. And that is how it kind of migrates from the yearly to the monthly to the weekly. Like I said, it was a little wordy, but I hope that made sense and that the visuals kind of explain it to you more as well. If this is not going to work for you, alter it however you want. But this is how bullet journaling usually works, and this is a system that Ryder Carroll would talk about. Before we get too far into this video, if you do like what you're hearing and you want to get more bullet journal and productivity content from yours truly, definitely go down and subscribe below. We are on the road to 10K subscribers. Oh my gosh, and I'm super excited. So if you want to join the family, go subscribe below. Okay, so chapter 4 is called custom collections. So now that we've discussed kind of the basic bullet journaling structure, this is the part where you can, if you have time and you're willing to, add some more fun spreads into your bullet journal. So what does that mean? My bullet journal, if you've watched any of my videos, is a little more than just calendar goals, calendar goals, calendar goals. Like, there's a lot more spread ideas kind of mingled in. For example, on the yearly spectrum, when I first set up my bullet journal, I have one layout, usually, where on the left I have a book tracker where I track all of my books for the year, which is super fun. And on the right, I have a period tracker, which is where I obviously track my cycle. And these are not necessary, or even if it is necessary, it doesn't fall into like the normal structure, right? It's just kind of a random spread. However, I really enjoy using these spreads, so I include them in my yearly setup. Monthly wise, custom collection could include anything from a cover page. People make cover pages to obviously differentiate each month from another. You can do trackers like habit trackers, mood trackers, sleep trackers, productivity trackers, period trackers, health trackers, meals trackers, anything like that. You can make spreads for those. You can do journaling, affirmations, prayers, gratitude, expenses, book logs, quote pages, playlists, anything. Honestly, like, it's endless possibilities. Whatever you want to journal about or make a creative spread about or just put in your bullet journal, nothing is stopping you from doing that. Even on the weekly scale, sometimes I put little like Spotify play boxes in my spreads to kind of show like what I'm listening to. You can put a little section like what I'm grateful for this week, something fun that I did this week. Is there a little quote you can add in the corner? That one quote isn't necessary for you to be completely organized, but it's fun, so why not add it in? Back in 2020, I first read the series Throne of Glass, and I was obsessed with it. Oh my gosh. To this day, it is still my second favorite fantasy series. But when I first finished the whole series, I was like so overwhelmed, I think, that I just decided to pull out my markers. I printed some pictures off of the internet and made an entire spread for the book series that I labeled Throne of Glass. And I had so much fun pasting everything in, and I actually ended up posting the picture on Pinterest, and it actually has like 1,000 saves right now, which is kind of cool, like 3 or 4 years later. But like, again, super random. I didn't have to make a spread like this, but I did because why not? And I put it in my bullet journal because it's like a time capsule. Like, I literally have the journal right here. I could literally flip to the page right now if I wanted to, because I put it into paper format and I'm keeping these for like the rest of my life. So it's like a little memory capsule. I think spreads like this are always super fun to kind of add into the bullet journaling system. Even if you're a beginner, if you have the time and energy to do it, I would 100% recommend. For chapter 5, let's discuss what bullet journal themes are. You may have heard this before, but you may not know exactly what they mean. So bullet journaling themes are essentially design motifs that are shown throughout your bullet journal, usually in monthly chunks. So usually every month people have a new theme in their bullet journal, and this could be represented by the fonts they use, the color palette, the aesthetics, the designs, the doodles, the art styles, what washi tapes they use, what type of like borders do they use, what layouts is it. And you can kind of see how they're different for each month, but within that month they all kind of have the same vibe and theme. For example, if we think about my May bullet journal theme from this year, I did Alice in Wonderland. So my color palette was red, blue, and black. I used a lot of alcohol marker drawings of people, characters from like the movie and the book, and then I would paste them in along with a lot of layering. When you move on to June from this year, oh, there's something in my eye. When we move on to June from this year, I did a tiger's theme. So that was completely different color palette, orange, green, pink, and brown. And I actually used a lot of watercolor for that setup. So I completely changed mediums. Going even further, if you flip to my July bullet journal theme from this year, I did soda pop. So I had super bright colors, every color of the rainbow, but just super bright and saturated with water-based markers. Once again, completely different vibe and aesthetic from the other 2 months. Personally, I do have a lot more variety in my themes because I don't like sticking to one art style. I like having to experiment with my spreads and try new things every month. However, a lot of people do have one specific art style that's pretty consistent throughout their entire bullet journal, even though it technically could be broken into different themes. But one thing that I like is because a bullet journal is so temporary, you can make a theme and completely try like some random experiment, new medium of art, new color palette, whatever. And after 30 days, whether you like it or not, you're moving on to another one. So like, it doesn't really matter if it's something that's in your style, quote unquote, or not, because it just gives you a lot of freedom to play around and try new things. This is also one more reason why I prefer a bullet journal system to maybe just a boring planner, because when you get like a paper planner from Walmart, every spread is literally the same. Like, it's generated on every page, which is the point of it, and it's planned out through the entire year. But when you're using a bullet journal, you can use different themes, you can use different art styles, you can draw boba tea one month and then draw lions the other. Like, no one is stopping you. So if you get bored with your bullet journal, like sometimes I get bored with my planning system, give it a week or two and you'll be on a new month with a completely new theme, and it like rejuvenates you to want to use your bullet journal again, which is something that I never got from a planner because everything was the same. I get so bored. But with this, you don't have to. Chapter 6 is called Finding a System That Works for You. I don't know how many times I've said that in this video, but I think it's incredibly, incredibly important. This entire video has, like I said, been from my point of view. What I think of the bullet journaling system usually is, and what I use the bullet journal for in my own life. But of course, when you're watching this video, you have to take everything I say with a grain of salt, because you just have to take the little bits and pieces that you think will work for your own life and your own organization planning process, and then implement that into your bullet journal. If you're just starting out, if you're a complete beginner, ask yourself, what do I need the bullet journal for? What am I expecting to get out of this? Is it more of an artsy creative side? Am I wanting to make it almost like a sketchbook and just express my ideas? Am I really structured and I really need that planning aspect? Like, if I don't have daily to-do lists and maybe even time blocking, like, I will go mad. Or are you like somewhere in the middle along that spectrum? Wherever you are, what do you need from a bullet journal? And focus on those spreads first. Also keep in mind, how much time do I have? Because bullet journaling is kind of a time-consuming process. Like, it's not going to take you hours and hours and hours, but like, it's going to take a little longer for you to actually draw out the spread and then fill it in than it would to just write down days in a calendar or in a random planner. Would you be quiet? There's a road right there and the cars are so loud. Even if you're a beginner, I would recommend not trying to restrict yourself to only doing one thing. Experiment a lot. See what works. See what you like, see what spreads you don't like, or take inspiration from people off the internet and kind of mold it into what you need, but don't just command copy paste. Like, adjust and change things so that it actually works for your lifestyle. Now, I have 4 last very quick reminders for you in this video. Number 1, your bullet journal is not going to look like anyone else's. I am a culprit of comparing myself online to so many people, and I also know from my very sweet people in the comments that people compare themselves and their journals to me. It's a big cycle. Don't get caught up in it though. I know it's easier said than done, but everyone's bullet journal is unique, and that's what makes it special. Number 2, you're gonna make mistakes in your bullet journal. I'm so sorry. It's what happens when you're literally hand drawing your planner for an entire year. Like, you're gonna make mistakes. But whether that's little things like your line messed up, you have to cover it up, you have to use sticker paper. Maybe you're like me. For September, I literally had to completely redo my setup because I didn't like it. Or maybe you're just not using the spreads to their full potential, and you're realizing after a couple months that, wow, I'm doing this completely wrong for myself. I need to be changing it up. It doesn't matter. Embrace the mistakes, roll the punches. You got it, babe. Number 3, you're never too late to start a bullet journal. Whether this is like age-wise, you can start a bullet journal from age, I don't know, 6, 85, whatever. But also, if it's September, you don't have to wait until January to start a new bullet journal. You can start one right now. I mean, think about it. If you're watching this video and you're like, wow, I really think this system is going to work for me and it's going to change my life, and I think that this is going to make me super productive and creative, why would you wait 4 months to start it? Like, you can start right now. It doesn't matter if it's not like a perfect bullet journal starting in January. Start whenever you want. Experiment for the next couple months. And then maybe when January comes around, you'll be a pro at bullet journaling, so you'll be ready to open a new journal and see what happens for 2024. And lastly, number 4, this bullet journaling system may not work for you. It may not, and it may be a little frustrating, I get, but sometimes people's life just doesn't work in alignment with the bullet journaling system. Maybe you need a digital planner because you'd prefer accessing things on your computer. Maybe you want a planner because you think it's less time consuming to use that than it is to write out your individual spread. Whatever it is, no shade at all. I always recommend trying the bullet journal system to anyone that I meet because I think it has changed my life, but if it doesn't work for you, whatever, it's not a big deal. And there are many other ways you can be planning, organized, and creative, even if it's not in a bullet journal. I feel like I've been talking for so long, but I hope this video has been helpful to you, especially if you're a bullet journal beginner and you're trying to learn how to start a bullet journal. I hope that you have got some good tips from here. Comment down below if you are just starting or you're planning to start soon. I would love to talk to you. And if you have any questions, I answer all of my comments, so I will answer your questions as soon as possible. Again, subscribe down below because I post bullet journaling and productivity videos every single week. We're on the road to 10K, like I mentioned, which I'm so excited about, so definitely subscribe and join our online community. Thank you guys so much for getting to the end of this video. You are amazing. I love you so much. And if you want to watch another video, here is this one on the screen where I organized all of my stationery in my new dorm last week. It was a really fun video, so go check it out. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week.